So in the TCM, very interesting. The TCM mentioned two conditions can leading to our one concept, very, very important. We call the shen injury. And later I will add the emotion to let you know. The shen injury theory comes from the Suet chapter 77. They're talking about the 5 faults in diagnosis and treatment. They mention the faults very important is people when they do the treatment, include diagnosis, they ignore our mental function. That's the origin where you can read the chapter to think about today's our clinic, how far we ignore our the mental function when you treat any patients. So one, they call that poor yin. Poor means the exhaustion, leaking away. Yin is the nutrition. So nutrition exhaustion is not talking just talking about the nutrition. They're talking about the falling social position from noble to humble. So the social position changes, make this person suffering, make people suffering. And if you couldn't manage it well, in the traditional medicine, you see from the Neijing until later, we have so many famous doctors like Sun Simiao, like Zhang Jingyue. They're all telling people how to do the self-management, include our mental healthness. So if you don't know this in the social events, the social position up and down is a common thing. If you don't know how to manage, you fall apart, the shen is injured, you get a disorder, you're in trouble. So that's the one from the social events. The second one, they call the shi jing. Shi is a loss. Jing, the essence. Talking about the essence depletion. But that's not talking the physical. They just use the words to let you know something is bad, exhausted, weakened. They call it losing the fortune from rich to poor. So you have a big house, you have some kind of bungalow somewhere, you have the ranch, you have the horse, you have nice cars, yards, you have a very good bank account, everything's good investment. But when everything turns around, the economy getting worse, you don't know how to do the management, you maybe don't know how to manage the risks, over-invest it, or you maybe mistrust something. Who knows? You suddenly lost everything. That's not my patients as well. So they develop the shen injury. So the Neijing telling us even the social events, economic events, also can cause trauma. So traditionally in TCM, we call it shen injury. So please remember these words. This is very, very important. Because today we're focusing on the clinic issues. And this is the shen in harmony condition. I don't want to review everything. I just let you know. This is our normal, healthy, harmonized shen. The first one called shen qi unity. We all unite together, all the shen, all the mental functions. It's not an isolated type. Like today, we have big trouble is when you treat emotional disorder, mood disorder. For example, you treat depression. You just treat general clinical depression, that's it. But you are not just deal with the emotion, depression. You have to check the patient's consciousness entirely. You have to check their thoughts, desire, sleep, body energy, eating pattern, activities. That's all related. You cannot isolate it. So that's why when the diagnosis this kind of disorder, they still have to add items to let you know the person in depression diagnosis, qualify for depression diagnosis. Even the mood, that's the major first degree, the qualification for depression diagnosis. But unfortunately, when you're treating insomnia, what happens? Many people have the insomnia and have depression, anxiety, low energy, palpitations, chest pain, migraine headache, low energy, low appetite, right? But when you treat anxiety, what happens? Anxiety also related to depression, low energy, twitching, headache, insomnia, everything relate together. Anxiety also can cause no attention, poor concentration, poor memory. How about depression? Also related to poor memory, poor concentration, no energy to read. When watching the TV show, feel dizzy. When the car passing, they feel bothered. When someone talk a lot, they feel body shaked, not comfortable. They couldn't listen to certain music because it shake their heart. Can you isolate a clinic anything just as alone to do the treatment? The reality is no. The reality is no. But unfortunately, today, we design certain pills only manage the anxiety, depression. They talk that way, but they affect, the reality affect entire body energy. That's why we have a lot of side effects, because we're single mind-based ideas. Okay, so second, shen qi awareness. You know yourself, you know what you're doing. The third one, our shen qi should be clear. And also our shen qi should be flexible. That's our shen. Number 4, you can change your side. You can change your view. You'll be flexible. And also have shen qi stability. In the shen qi movement dynamics, you're stably moving around. Everything you harmonize back. Everything you can manage it. If you're not stable, you cannot keep the balance. Number 6, you have to go see doctor, ask someone to give you help. And shen qi is energy in our medicine. Remember, only talking the shen, you don't know what's going on. Okay, shen is what? I repetitively mentioned. You read the entire Neijing again, and again. You feel that. Shen is what? Shen is life. Number 1, shen is life. That's in the Neijing mentioned very, very clear. In the Ling Shu Tianyan Pian, the natural lifespan, that's the Ling Shu, spiritual power, Ling Shu Tianyan Pian, Tian, nature, heaven, Nian, age. They talk in the natural lifespan. They're talking about the war. They ask, what's the shen? They have the word said. Also, the shen qi come into the heart. So it became a person, became we call it life, human life. They ask the shen, but the answer is human. So the shen come into the heart. Also using the shen qi, these words. This is the shen qi, not from me. I know many people talking, Dr. Yang talking the shen qi, shen qi. Where is the shen qi? That's in the Neijing original words. I know possibly when you read the certain Neijing translation from Chinese, there's no shen qi at all. Sometimes they change different words. For example, they change it to energy, blood, or something, who knows? Also in the modern, the Chinese, the translation from the Asian language, they ignore the shen very much. They use different words also. Sometimes say righteous qi, blah, blah. That's wrong. Let Neijing back to the original shen is a shen. Shen qi is a shen qi. Don't change it. Ignore the shen is big trouble. So that's why I tell you, shen is life. Under the shen's life, this concept, the shen second, also called narrowed down the meanings. Shen is our mentality. So mentality is life phenomenon, nothing else. It's very scientific. So that's why in the TCM, we talk in the shen disturbance. That's like a mental disorder, psychological disorder, that's everything related to our mentality. That's why we don't have to say in English from the English background. They talk in the psychology based. But in TCM, we have the Chinese words in wide meanings. They covered all the psychological, psychiatrical conditions. But also deeper meanings is based on life. Because the shen is life. That's the root. That's the where it comes from. So please read Ling Su chapter 8, Ban Shen chapter. Root is shen. Ignore these kind of chapters. No one knows what is shen. Everyone talking the shen, but no one knows shen. Everyone treats shen, but no one really treated the shen. That's the current, our clinic situation. Even I go to the certain conference meetings, I listen to people talking. When they start to do the treatment, they talk in the diagnosis, I have no words. They're not to treat the shen, not evaluate the shen at all. They treat something else. I don't know what they treated. Maybe Zangfu pattern, meridians, or just follow their personal ideas, or guessing game, or play some kind of ready type of game, not really clinical based. So that's the big problem in the current, our clinic. Also, shen qi has reactivity. That's the Neijing talking about. Our heart is used for response to things. Our shen qi has reactivity. No reactivity is big trouble. We have reactivity. Reactive to outside, all the situations, happenings, but also you have to react to your internal feeling, desires, because then that's the natural energy cycle affect human being. You have to follow. So finally, you have to fall asleep. Finally, you have to eat something. Finally, you have to start over, touch something. Otherwise, life energy shen deteriorating, because that's the part of the phenomenon, part of the energy of the life. You're going to die, deteriorating, die. You want to survive. If you want to survive, absolutely, we want to survive better. And also we have the shen qi initiation. Yes, we have desire, we try to respond, but we have to let the mental energy to start. It's not just say, you take action. Before you take action, the shen have to move first. If the shen qi start to ripple, start to move, then the ideas, desires, they get more clear, more firm, more hold. So that's our internal desire-based psychological process, or called the shen qi process, started. You take action or not, it's a different thing. But at least your shen is started. So many the dull person, they know how to manage this kind of shen initiation, the shen initial waves, to diminish the bad things, bad ones, and hold the good ones to run, to perform. For general people, we don't have such power. We're driven by our bad desires and amplified with bad emotions.